Hello, YouTube! Today, we're watching Criss Angel's scary obsession with David Blaine. It's War of the Magicians. And as we all know, magic is totally real. So, when we watch this, keep in mind that magic is real and these men are doing real magic. From what I remember, Criss Angel is kind of a crazy guy. He did a lot of crazy stunts and was pretty mean. He's a mean guy. So let's see all about it.
What started as a professional rivalry over who the best magician was turned into an all-out obsession when Criss Angel realized he was living in the shadow of David Blaine. On radio shows and in interviews, Criss was always quick to throw shade at David.
You know what's kind of funny is David Blaine, which, I give him a lot of credit for what he's doing, but is known because of who he dates. I want to be known for what I do.
Wow.
Criss even dedicated an entire television segment to mocking Blaine, using a full hair and makeup team to transform himself into his arch nemesis.
That's
to sell
crazy.
The joke. Years of tension.
To quote, sell the joke, not because he's like a crazy man obsessed with another man. Me when I'm just joking, so I get plastic surgery, so I look exactly like my rival that I totally hate and I bring up all the time and I talk about all the time, and I get plastic surgery, so I look exactly like them and I tattoo a picture of their face on my face. For the joke though, like for the joke, like for the bit, like for the bit.
Tension kept building until Criss finally decided to confront David face-to-face backstage, and Blaine's response was more brutal than anything Criss Angel could have imagined. David Blaine had a vision for magic that nobody else did at the time. Most magicians relied heavily on visual spectacles, big sets, elaborate props, flashy costumes, and exaggerated theatrics designed to overwhelm the audience. David did the opposite. He wore plain clothes, was emotionless in the face, and gave small
was emotionless in the face. Yeah, I guess. I feel like David Blaine was doing like a different kind of magic than like stage show magic though, It was a little bit different than stage show magic.
Focused crowds of people magic on the street for free. Stephen Chow, a former Fox executive who was chosen to produce Mr. Blaine's special, put it this way: "He's the only magician I've seen who wasn't a geek." Blaine's approach made every trick feel...
That's like such a backhanded compliment. Yeah, I like this guy. He wasn't a nerd like all the other magicians. He means theater kid. All the other magicians were theater kids, and David Blaine was like a cool guy because he didn't have any emotions in the face and he wore plain white t-shirts.
Personal and more real. It wasn't happening on a stage far away, it was happening right in front of your face. He famously said in 1997, "The reason for magic..."
I am not letting this guy anywhere near my nose. That girl, she was pretty brave for that, but I'm not letting this guy anywhere near my nose.
...is to enlighten people or make them happy, or let them forget their problems for 2 minutes. David's style and his mindset were authentically humble, and it made him stand out. He walked around New York City filming himself performing tricks for regular people and tried to pitch it to television networks. ABC executives decided to take a chance on him, and it paid off. David Blaine's street magic was packed with tricks and illusions, like when Blaine twisted his hand around several times in front of a licensed doctor outside a local hospital.
This way, facing towards you. The other way. Turn to the left. Yeah, more to the left. Twist it so it's straight. Right,
they won't show it.
Back a little bit so
they won't show it.
Twist your hand inwards a little bit. Like this. Go ahead. Inwards a little bit, slowly. A little bit more. Right. Here's where it starts to get painful. With your left hand, can you grab my right hand? My fingers? Yeah. My left hand? Yeah, grab my fingers and
twist them. Is this magic?
Okay. Yeah.
Ah!
Keep going. Keep going. Ow. Keep going. A little bit more. Keep going. Ow. No. No, keep going. Keep pushing. Keep going. Yeah.
Watching this is giving me sympathy pain.
Keep going. No, keep going. Keep going. You hear that crack?
The show became a resounding...
Ew. The David Blaine parody videos are still my favorite YouTube videos. Yeah, they're really funny. The David Blaine parody videos are very good.
Success, not just because...
Sussy sounds without the vid. We're watching a man crack his wrist. It does sound a little bit sussy.
because of the tricks, but rather the stunned responses from each small audience.
Right.
13. All right, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See, it's as soon as you connect it, that's when it happens. See, where's the cards? See what I'm saying? They switch it from hand to hand. That's what it
He
is.
just like,
Here, look.
he shook that guy's knuckles together kind of like this when I crack my knuckles like this. I don't think they're going to pop though. Oh, that was a weak one. I cannot. Oh, there we go. Oh, that was a good one. I can't twist my hand all the way around like David Blaine. Unfortunately, that's the best you're going to get.
Look, check it out. Watch like this. Ready? Look, watch. Watch this. Ready? Just watch this move. Look. No, look. Watch. Look. Here's the switch, right? It's right here, right? All right. See that? That's the move, right? Yo, I'm gonna give you something. Hold this. I got something for you, man. I got a little treat.
Card tricks are pretty impressive.
However, a lot of practicing magicians were not too fond of David. In a moment of bitter jealousy, Jamie Ian Swiss, a magician and columnist for the Genie Magic magazine, said his only skill is removing money from a wallet and handing it to a person behind the counter. David refused to.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good insult, honestly. Yeah, I mean, he was just kind of doing like basic like party trick magician tricks, but like he got people who were like very responsive, you know? It's always like people going, whoa. I feel like it's kind of easy to trick people on the street though. You know what I mean? It's kind of easy to trick people on the street.
To respond to the hate, because ultimately he was successfully completing his mission of making magic accessible to as many people as possible, and in doing so, he actually made it cool to a mainstream audience. Now there was
The coolest guy anyone has ever seen right here. Look how cool this guy is. Did people really used to look at this and think this guy was super cool? I would respect him more if he was in like a full magician's tailcoat, you know? He always looks drunk to me. He does have like... He is T-posing. Listen, you're the coolest when you T-pose, babe. You're the coolest when you T-pose. I love it when you just stand there with your arms out T-posing in your basic white T-shirt.
Was another magician called Criss Angel who had actually been trying to make magic look cool for years, but the harder he tried, the more it started to.
Is it just me or does Criss Angel? He always looks kind of like dirty. Like his hair always looks dirty to me. Like he just looks greasy. Criss Angel just looks like such a greasy man.
Work against him. But before we dive deeper, football is back, and there's never been a better time to check out the sponsor of today's video, DraftKings. DraftKings is
Gambling
your
ad.
one-stop shop for all your sports betting needs.
We're skipping
if sports
this
betting
one.
is not yet available
We're
in your state,
skipping this
don't
one.
worry. You can still
We're
join
skipping
in
this
on all the
one.
fun
We're
with
cutting this
DraftKings Daily
out.
Fantasy Sports and have the shot to win
No
cash
free
prizes.
sports
They've got
gamba.
odds on almost every sport you can think of, and if you want to make whatever you're watching even more exciting, DraftKings has you covered.
I'm just gonna
You can bet
bounce.
live on in-progress events right as they happen. Right now, DraftKings has a great offer. New customers bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Sign up using DraftKings.com/PatrickCC or use my promo code PatrickCC. Criss Angel had been doing magic longer than David Blaine.
Ew. Why did he take pictures like this? What is the point of an angle like this? What is he doing here? What is he doing here? Is this picture comfortable? Are you comfortable looking at this picture? I'm not. What is he doing? What's the magic? Where's the magic in this picture?
But was less popular. A lot like Blaine, Criss spent most of his early magic career performing for small audiences, but he genuinely felt like a career magician by the age of 14, performing at small birthday parties and entertaining guests at a Long Island restaurant. But
Old
his
ass
initial motivation
photos.
to do magic tricks for others wasn't exactly as humble.
See, he just like looks so greasy. He's just like a greasy guy.
as David's. I felt this incredible sense of power that an adult didn't understand how it worked, but I did. In 1987, he launched a public access magic show called Hot Kicks. 20-year-old Criss looked and dressed like a Guns N' Roses tour groupie. In 1994,
right, yeah, he definitely
Angel made
does.
his primetime television debut in the ABC one-hour special, Secrets. Through the mid to late 90s, Criss appeared on various television specials and talk shows, using these spots to showcase his edgy, rock-influenced take on magic. He leaned heavily into the dark magic.
Right, yeah, he was like an evil magician, right? He was like, I'm an evil magician. I get my power from anarchy symbols and like rock music, and would just like go around with like fire and stuff and went like bam, 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 bam. And like that was his form of magic. And he was like super cool and edgy. He wasn't wearing a white t-shirt. He was wearing a black t-shirt.
Image. Gothic leather clothing and heavy metal soundtracks complemented the grungy aesthetic of the 90s.
I thought magicians were very cheesy.
Oh, I'm sitting over him. You guys can't see how greasy he looks right here.
Generation of MTV, you know, Zeppelin, and you know some of the '80s bands, and you know music, and
I'm getting out of the way.
And that vibe and that energy that you got from it, and magicians weren't doing that.
Now, there was no structured career path to being a successful magician. Unlike
it does look like he's interviewing
actors, magicians didn't have a thriving mainstream pipeline. There were no Netflix
True.
specials, no social media clips to go viral overnight, and TV networks only greenlit magic shows sparingly. If you weren't already a big name magician, such as
What is this? What is he wearing? That's not a white t-shirt.
Copperfield or Penn and Teller, you had to get extremely creative to market yourself and make money. And for someone like Criss, who basically wanted to be the
He's just like the greasiest man. I guess like greasy man was like kind of like popular back then as like the greasy rock man.
first rock star magician, the market was even narrower. Despite the odds being stacked against him, Criss had an incredible drive.
Wow.
He was well into his 30s, still fully dedicated to making this dream into a career. Meanwhile,
Wow.
David Blaine rapidly passed him in popularity. Blaine's ABC show made him a household name, and he quickly shifted from simple card tricks to unbelievable endurance stunts that blurred the line between illusion.
It's just so, the pictures they choose to use are just so funny. This is like Renaissance painting vibes, right? Where all the hands are like reaching out towards the center of the painting or whatever. It has Renaissance painting vibes. Like I know they're pulling him out of like a dunk tank or whatever, but it's a little like...
and human survival. Unlike a magic trick where you know
It does
there's
have
some
meme
secret
potential.
method behind the illusion, Blaine's endurance feats felt brutally real. Although certain precautions are set to ensure that he doesn't die, there's no obvious trick to things like being buried alive, which is a stunt Blaine
Right.
dedicated to his idol, Harry Houdini, who was buried 6 feet underground without a casket almost a century earlier. In 1999, David spent 7 days sealed inside of a glass coffin under a water tank in New York City. His friend
I don't even, that's not, well, I guess the escape part, it's like, it's not magician though. That's being like an escape artist. Isn't that like a totally different genre of like magician being like an escape artist? It seems horrible though. I could never do that. The idea of being trapped underground for 7 days actually makes me want to throw up. I would puke in the casket and then I would just be like in puke for 7 days and I would just cry the whole time.
Bill Kalush initially suggested that he fake the stunt, but Blaine refused because he thought it would actually be easy.
So we got a coffin from Queens where actually Houdini was buried. I bought it.
Would you just nap? There's no way I am like getting any kind of restful sleep buried 6 feet underground. Like what else do you do? I mean, yeah. What else do you do? But there's no way I'm sleeping. I'm having an anxiety attack the whole time.
Coffin. We brought it back to his house, and then I would just practice sleeping in the coffin. Then suddenly,
Oh yeah, he just sleeps, I guess.
You don't eat food, and then if you have a little thing to go to the bathroom, I did 4 days like nothing. So I'm like, okay, I can do a week.
Blaine did not eat for 2 weeks before the stunt, but continued drinking water prior to and during the stunt. He was sealed in a see-through coffin beneath 6 tons of water. Oxygen was transferred in and out of the holes above his head. A catheter was inserted into Blaine's bladder to safely drain any urine, and spectators could come and go whenever they wanted. He said people would shine flashlights on him at 2 a.m. to make sure he was really in there. This was no trick. This was the real deal, but he took it even further. The following year, he executed his
Is that like, there's no trick there. Where's Where's the trick? Right? Where's the trick? You're just like being buried alive in public. He tricked you into thinking there was a trick. Magic to survival expert. Yeah. It's just about endurance. Yeah. It's just like proving he can do it, I guess. But like, why would you ever want to?
This frozen in time stunt, David Blaine was fully encased in ice in the middle of Times Square while lightly dressed in a long sleeve shirt, pants, and a beanie. He had a tube that supplied air, water, and another that removed urine. The ice was transparent and elevated so people could see that he was inside the entire time.
What?
He couldn't sleep or move because touching the ice for too long would cause frostbite. He just had to stand there, freezing, alone with his thoughts. Around
That's just like torture. That is like watch me torture myself, and I'm gonna call it magic.
hour 55, his eyes went out and he began hallucinating. He was talking to imaginary people, felt like spiders were crawling all over him, and said that minutes took hours to pass by. On the brink
The masochist mage. Crazy! What is he proving? That he could do it?
of death, medics were forced to remove him from the ice after 63 hours. This time, the critics were silenced. There was no way to fake this. Whether you saw it on TV or in real life, you knew this guy was on a different level. What's
But
interesting
why?
is that almost immediately after Frozen and
It's not even that impressive. Like, I guess it's kind of impressive, but it's not like you're doing anything. You're just standing there and enduring torture. He's just proving that, like, he could be like a really good, like a really good spy because he can endure a lot of torture. I cast disintegrate on myself.
time, Criss Angel performed a somewhat similar stunt. He spent 24 hours submerged in a tank of water, also in the middle of Times Square. Now, at the time, Criss was
This is just like exhibitionism at this point, right? Like, like he's just doing this for some kind of like sick thrill, you know? It's not for anybody else's benefit. It's just for his own sick thrill.
wasn't known for endurance feats. He was actually still promoting his theater show, Criss Angel Mind Freak, off Broadway, and reviews were not so great. Though in interviews, Angel has poo-pooed
Mind
the
Freak.
cheesy nature of standard magic shows. His disappearances, quick changes, and levitations are really standard Blackstone Copperfield stuff. A bit of a letdown considering the impressive costumes and postmodern flashiness. Criss's career was headed in the wrong direction, so is it fair to assume that he may have taken inspiration from the guy who was getting worldwide praise in the same field? In 2002, Criss put himself in handcuffs and shackles, then submerged himself underwater in a cramped chamber. The entire time he breathed through an air hose and occasionally interacted with spectators through the glass. And of course, in the video edit, they had to include someone saying that David was inferior to Criss Angel.
I think he's better than David Blaine, in my opinion.
However,
Yeah, this man is better at torturing himself than David Blaine is. Crazy. They're competing over who is better at withstanding torture.
even though Criss's challenge was physically demanding, it lacked the life or death edge that Blaine's challenges carried. In his post-stunt interview, he seems entirely fine and full of excitement and energy. Then, in a moment, he is seemingly
was just, like,
lifeless,
wet
being
for a
hauled
while.
into an ambulance.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, everybody, very much. New York is the greatest place in the world. New York City rocks.
Whoa. Oh. I'm not gonna lie, that seems like a delirious man. That was not like a man who is fine. That's a delirious man. I'm not shocked that he got wheeled away after that. Masochist maid competition. I'm not in that at all. No way.
Even if someone thought Criss and David might be neck and neck when it comes to who can push the limits of the human body further, David would quickly prove that there was no competition. In the middle of Manhattan, Blaine stood atop a 2-foot wide pillar nearly 10 stories tall for 2 days and 2 nights.
He
No
just
food,
stood there?
No water, no sleep, and nothing to sit
Oh,
or
look at
lean
him.
on.
This guy
There was
thinks he's
also
so
no
cool.
safety net or precautions set in place in case he fell. Most people could not stand for 35 hours straight, let alone being 100 feet in the the air, constantly battling the wind. In his 2003 stunt, Above the Below, he'd be confined.
It's like kind of impressive. He's just T-posing up on his perch, yeah. He's just perched up and T-posing over the entire city. Honestly, kind of, you know what? I'll give it to him. Quick, someone grab a slingshot.
In a 3 foot by 7 foot by 7 foot transparent plexiglass block suspended 30 feet in the air in London. His goal was to stay in this box for over a month with no food, access to bathrooms, just enough resources to survive, and he lasted 44 days.
This has been one of the most important experiences in my life.
Why? Me when I'm up in the torture cube? Me enjoying my time up in the torture cube? Not only is it a torture cube, it was a British torture cube.
In that little box than I have in years.
With each new stunt, David Blaine proved
These guys are all so pretentious, man. I've learned so much in sitting in a little box. I've learned so much about the comings and goings of people in London, and I had nothing else to think about, so I just started hallucinating, and I thought about everything in my brain.
he was not tricking people, but testing the body and spirit in front of millions. He wasn't
Right.
just a magician, he was an artist.
Some kind of
receiving
exhibitionism.
worldwide recognition and praise. Interviews on mainstream talk shows, fans across the globe, and superstar girlfriends like Kill Bill actress Daryl Hannah. Blaine made magic interesting and respected on a mainstream level.
Wait, how is that magic? How is it magic to just sit in a box? Like, is it magic to go without food for 40 days?
Proving to networks that audiences were entertained by it. So when
The magic
NBC
of
took a chance
survival.
on Criss Angel's reality TV show called
What?
Mind Freak, it was clear that
Mind
they
Freak.
wanted their own magic star to capitalize on this cultural wave. However,
I guess because they surpass what you think is possible. That's true, I guess. I guess it's like real magic is to do what people think is impossible.
Criss could not compete with David's level of dedication. Blaine treated his stunts like scientific experiments, spending months or years training
That's not magic. That's science.
with world-class doctors, freediving experts, and neurosurgeons to understand the limits of the human body. Every second of his preparation was real, and the risks could have cost him his life. Criss,
And
on
this
the other hand,
is to
was
go
producing
even
dozens
further
of Mind Freak
beyond.
episodes per year. And the further you look into the formula behind it, the more you realize it is the furthest thing from magic. Criss Angel blew the minds of anyone under the age of 12 with the
Whoa.
release of his show, Mind Freak. He accomplished incredible stunts like walking on
Oh, this is what I was mentioning, where he, quote, walked on water, but it was just like a plastic sheet in the water or whatever that he was walking on. I guess it's like pretend magic.
water in a hotel pool filled with people. There's absolutely no way that there could be some sort of plexiglass bridge to help him with this stunt, or when he levitated from one building to another.
Oh,
And he
I
did it in
remember
front of people.
this!
Or my personal favorite, when he told this little girl that he would transform into a 10-year-old boy by sliding down this slide at a playground.
Maybe I could be 10 years old again.
What?
How'd you do that? Magic.
Criss Angel also consistently claimed that he could walk through solid objects, such as doors or closed windows.
I've proven that a solid can pass through a solid. I've
That's kind of sus.
demonstrated it literally when I passed through storefront windows. Now watch. Hit it. As I passed through a taxi
Okay, but then what was the paper doing, huh? Why did you have to burst through the paper? What is the paper hiding, Criss Angel?
cab. Go!
He would tell you to look, but then cover up what you are supposed to look at in the name of magic. Him walking through
Whoa.
a metal fence was one of the most egregious examples.
He's covering it. Woo!
And of course, a magician is never
Cardboard!
supposed to reveal his secrets. But the problem is, magicians have an unspoken
He really like he really just I do remember every stunt, quote stunt he did just looked so fake. Just the most fake thing ever, because he just like covered it and then was like, ooh, imagine that something magic is happening behind this cardboard. You can't see it, but it's happening, guys, I swear. I forgot how greasy this guy is. Yeah, he just gets greasier. Every picture, he just gets greasier. What's with his like tee-hee face pose? Yeah, he's smiling behind his hand, but you can't see it. Magic.
spoken agreement with their audience. We know it's an illusion, but we also know it's possible with skill, misdirection, or ingenuity. Mind Freak didn't feature illusions you could admire or potentially
Skateboard trick.
recreate. It was nothing more than a product of crappy reality TV. The key components that made Mind Freak work had nothing to do with Criss Angel actually defying physics. Firstly, the show relied heavily on stooges, which is the term for paid actors pretending to be random bystanders who would gasp and scream right on cue.
Oh no. What are they screaming about?
Camera effects did the rest. Strategic cuts, tricky angles, and edits that concealed wires, trapdoors, or entire set pieces. And sometimes these can be really interesting, like when he laid on this bed of nails and had an 8,000-pound truck rest on top of him. I know it's not real, but it does genuinely have you wondering how they did that. But they often got lazy. One of his favorite tricks was just putting a tarp over something and then making it disappear. It's such a wildly unimpressive stunt that is so easy to edit. It just leaves you to believe that the show was made for children. Like in this clip where he put the bike underneath a tarp and you can see the bottom of the wheel. Then in the next frame, the shape looks entirely different and he magically makes the bike disappear.
Ow! Yeah.
Man, there's gotta be something here. You look at the back for that right now in front of my face.
I swear half of this show was just him covering things up with a tarp and making it disappear and then levitating to his next stunt. And then there were the Mind Freak.
The levitation was always so funny. Men should not levitate. Sorry, men and women. Nobody should levitate because you look stupid levitating. The chipmunk voices make it funnier. The copyright-free chipmunk voices, yeah.
Consultants, which were basically just actors that were hired to provide testimonials that everything he was doing was real and high stakes.
Right, yeah.
There's real danger involved with this, and I try to talk him out of doing this. Criss Angel is so...
It was like the segments of Mind Freak were like every episode he would just like cover something up with a tarp and it would cut away to a quote expert and the expert would be like, guys, this is the most dangerous thing I've ever seen anyone try to do. And like, I told him not to do it. Like I told him he shouldn't do it because he'll just like die, I think. Like there's no way anybody could survive doing this. And then it's like a tarp and he's covering up his legs with the tarp. And then he like lifts up one leg to make it look like he has no legs. And it's like, this is so crazy. Where did his legs go? And it's like they're hiding behind the tarp, man.
Only one to help people escape from the everyday mundane with the stunts that he performs. Criss has played with fire before, and he's not been burned. Maybe a little bit, but not enough to hurt him.
Maybe a little bit. He's been burned a little bit.
He's putting himself in a situation. Why? Because it's not enough. It's that amping things up.
As the seasons went on, the episodes got more insane.
Criss Angel drinking game. Take a shot every time he levitates or put a sheet over something. Don't do it. You'll die.
Unbelievable and uncreative. Like, look at this clip where he acts like a forklift went through his stomach.
Call 911.
Or when he cut a woman in half.
Cool, right now. Let's go.
He seemed to be obsessed with the idea that he could defy or cheat death. And so was David Blaine. But the difference was, David was actually doing it. Criss was just making
crazy.
it look like he was doing it. Now,
just
was
different
it
crazy.
wildly unhinged and entertaining TV? Yes. When Mind Freak aired in the summer of 2005, it drew in over 1 million viewers on average before peaking at 3 million during the third season's premiere.
Wow.
However, the biggest problem with the show is that Criss insisted so hard on presenting everything as authentic and real. Because when you you hear him taunt and challenge
Yeah.
David Blaine, it starts to make you think his ego got to his head. The beef started when Blaine attempted to break the world record for holding his breath underwater. The record at the time was just shy of 9 minutes. He could already do a few minutes easily.
Wait, how long can you guys hold your breath for? I cannot hold my breath for very long. I cannot. I just like instinctively will breathe in, even if I'm underwater, which is pretty bad, actually.
But his theory was that if he could spend 7 days submerged
9
in a
minutes
tank
is
of water,
crazy.
his body would adapt to the conditions, and then he would remove the oxygen and escape from the tank slightly over 9 minutes to break the world record. After 7 days submerged in a tank at Lincoln Center, Blaine removed his breathing apparatus and attempted his escape. However, the movement of his body caused him to waste additional oxygen. He blacked out at 7 minutes 8 seconds and had to be saved, making the stunt a failure. Criss Angel
I got bored and stopped after 3 minutes. It is just kind of boring. I guess unless you do it like that guy where you're like, yeah, I'm going to be underwater for 7 days. And then I'm going to drown.
took this moment to claim that David was copying his 24 hours underwater stunt from 2002.
He just did something that wasn't so successful.
What, the orb thing?
In water. It was like, dude.
It's like, what? He's in a big, like, goldfish.
Yeah, I was in water and he was in water. So, like, I'm pretty sure he was copying me.
Yeah.
For what? It was 2 days, 3
Yeah,
days?
it was a long time. The thing is, I did it already, and it's just weird why
And you
he
did
would
it
have
more spectacular.
whatever. You know, he's a good guy. I wish him the best.
You could tell he had been waiting for a reason to call him out.
You know what he's going through, and I just, for the life of me, I don't understand why he is doing something that's been done before. I don't know if he's running out of stuff.
Now, the two stunts were very different.
Wow.
Criss did 24 hours underwater just to make a grand escape, whereas Blaine did 7 days. Plus, he was trying to break the record for holding one's breath. And Chris's 24-hour stunt came after Blaine's stunt, where he was encased in ice for over 2 days. It is wild for Criss to compare the one time he did an endurance feat to any of David's, but he didn't stop there.
You know, just to cut to the chase, I respect David. You know, he is a creation of television and did a fantastic job doing what he does. I'm willing, and I've said this before, I think
I really don't know how he can say that though, because like, you know, give David Blaine all the shit you want, because he kind of also sucks, but like at least he was doing like, you know, magician party tricks instead of like I put a sheet over a thing and then we took it away and then we cut that part out and then I lifted the sheet up and it wasn't there, you know? Like, it was, like, a little bit more real. It was, like, actual sleight of hand stuff. He was totally delusional.
I think his biggest fear is me, because I'm the real deal.
The guy who pretends he can fly and cut people in half for a living, who hires actors to react to
really?
it and uses...
Do you guys think, Criss Angel, like, he totally believed that everybody believed that he, like, was really doing those things, right? It's egotistical, toxic, yaoi, grease boy. True.
Heavy special effects to create the illusion, calling himself the real deal, is bold. He also claimed that David talked badly about him in the press, and I looked extremely hard to find proof of that, but I could not.
I'm willing to put everything on the line because...
No way.
You know,
Hello! We're watching Criss Angel's Scary Obsession with David Blaine. We're watching Magician Wars. Masochist Magician Wars.
Truth of the matter is, he talked the big game in the public about me. It was on the radio, and you know, but when it came down to it, we tried to contact him to set it up. He wanted no part of it. So I'm just the type of person that, you know, what I do is what I say. What I say is what I do, and I just expect people to, you know, be the same. And unfortunately, he wasn't. But anytime, you know, I'm willing. I'll quit my career if I lose. I'm totally serious.
Wow.
I mean,
Anything he'll do, you'll do.
Anything he wants to do, anytime, any place.
Criss was hellbent on having some sort of trick-for-trick magic duel like they were boxers in a ring. He insisted on turning magic...
Trick-for-trick magic duel, but it's like... who can survive the most torture for longer? It's like, who's the biggest masochist magician?
into a competition, and no true magic fan is sitting at home saying, my favorite magician could beat your favorite magician. It's not like sports.
I don't know. I feel like if I had a favorite magician, I would be saying that. I would be saying that.
where you keep score and crown a champion. It's about creating wonder, mystery, and letting an audience suspend their disbelief for a moment. Plus, I found no evidence of this magic duel that he claims David was running from. He even had the audacity to claim that David Blaine, who was much more famous than Criss Angel, was only popular because he was dating superstar models and actresses.
You know what's kind of funny is, like, you know, David Blaine, which, you know, I give him a lot of credit for what he's doing, but is known because of who he dates. I want to be known for what I do.
What makes
He was
this
throwing
criticism
so much
even worse is
shade.
that Criss Angel was the one dating way more high-profile women. Britney Spears, Cameron Diaz, Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton, just to name a few.
He really did date all of them. Though they were like the late 90s superstars.
It was starting to look more and more like Criss was just
He's projecting. He's totally projecting. It does also seem like he likes blondes.
jealous. David had performed for sitting presidents in the White House, like when he had a funny interaction with George Bush, shaking his arms and managing to steal his watch with some sleight of hand.
Say a number.
That's impressive.
Well, think of a number from 1 to 20.
Yeah, got it.
17? Here, I got a present for you.
Was it 17?
Right,
it was 17.
Yeah. But I have a present for Mr. President. It's
Oh, God. I took my watch off.
Meanwhile, Criss Angel brought in a Barack Obama impersonator and acted like it was really him. David never responded to any of Criss's criticism, but Criss was on a warpath. He was
That's insane. This guy, he was fully buying into his own delusions. He was completely buying into his own delusions. That's crazy.
determined to send a message to Blaine, something that he would have to respond to. So he dedicated an entire segment on his show Mind Freak to making fun of David
He
Blaine.
wanted this guy's
In the
attention
episode, Criss
so
did a
bad.
full hair and makeup transformation to make him look exactly like David. Then he mimicked his stoic voice and demeanor in a way that made him seem boring and dry.
I don't know if I can get off. It's kind of hard. Watch.
Criss seemed really bent out of
His levitation trick is so lame.
shape that people still talked about David Blaine's levitation illusion from over 10 years ago at that point.
It's so lame.
Criss is clearly upset that the only time people talk about his levitations, they mention how obviously fake they are. Are we really supposed to believe this man floated Shaquille O'Neal over a house? Like, what are we talking about here? Throughout the sketch, Criss set up multiple failed tricks to make it seem like David was terrible at the craft.
A card. Don't tell me what it is. Queen of Hearts. 7 of Hearts. I want you to think of that number and concentrate on it.
Okay.
The number you're thinking of is 32.
No.
Criss Angel ended this bit by mocking David
That's so mean.
even further and claiming that his career was in shambles.
7101.
7101. That was the number I was thinking of. It's weird.
This is
I
like
think I have to get up for free now because I was
awkward.
thinking in my mind 7101.
Why can't I get it?
I'm David Blaine.
I'm sure at this point you realize this was no rivalry. It was a one-sided obsession. Criss Angel was so fixated on David Blaine, and David just didn't care. Within the past 15 years since this episode released, David never once mentioned Criss in interviews,
So
never
funny.
clapped back, never even acknowledged him publicly. The harder Criss
Dude, you make a whole episode making fun of a guy and he just ignores you. Like he just like totally blindsides it and does not even acknowledge it or even talk about you. That's so funny. Imagine if he got sued for defamation. That's true. That was, I guess he could probably say it was under parody though.
tried to tear David down, the more obvious it became that he was
I feel like for Criss Angel, it was so much worse to never be acknowledged. He really went through all that effort to get this guy's attention, and he didn't even look. He didn't say anything.
measuring his own worth against him. Angel wanted the recognition that Blaine had, which is silly because he was wildly successful himself. Mind Freak was
absolutely one-sided toxic yaoi.
a cultural phenomenon. His Las Vegas residencies alone generated over $150 million in tourism revenue in a single year, and his global
Dressing up as a guy you hate and doing stuff to ruin their reputation is such a hilarious idea. It is pretty funny. It is objectively funny. I don't recommend it though. I'm gonna start dressing up as other VTubers and I'm gonna start cosplaying other VTubers and going out in public and reenacting Nathan For You episodes.
Global ventures, from touring shows to merchandise and magic kits, have contributed to a net worth estimated between $50 and $70 million. Clearly, there was plenty of room in the world for two magicians to be wildly successful, but Criss never let it go. They went in their separate directions for over a decade, both having successful TV shows, one where David does tricks like actually inserting a needle all the way through his hand, and one where Criss Angel still pretends to rip people in half. They both continue to have wildly successful Las Vegas live shows.
They do seem to have like totally different audiences, honestly. Like they don't have the same audience. They're not competing.
But ultimately, after all this time, Criss Angel just could not get David Blaine out of his head. And recently, Criss would open up for the first time about his obsession on Steve-O's Wild Ride podcast, sharing that he always felt like he deserved to be on the throne.
Listen, David Blaine, I give props to. He came out, did street magic, you know, blew up before I did. Give him all the props in the world. When he was coming up, you know, I was very aggressive because I had a dream, I had a vision in my mind. I wanted to accomplish
That's
it.
one way to
Whatever
put it.
David is doing, I can do it. And I'll do it side by side with him. I guarantee you that whatever he does, I'll last longer, I'll do it better, I'll do whatever. Because I was committed to give my life to beating him or anyone else. Because I had something so bad that I wanted, and he had it. So he had a big target on his head.
This is the most
What did he have? That he was the like best magician? You're not doing the same things. Yeah, one guy is like, okay, we'll say actual magician, and we'll put that in like quotes. He's doing like endurance feats. And the other guy, yeah, is just doing like YouTube pranks on MTV in the 90s.
honest Criss has been with himself in a long time. He admits that he saw David as a competitive target and that he had the status that Criss always wanted. However, he failed to understand that he created an extremely one-sided rivalry, which is why...
Yeah. Does this count as yandere? I think this counts... I don't know if I'd say yandere. It's kind of yandere, I think. He's like super obsessed with this guy. Is Criss Angel a yandere? Say yes or no.
It was extremely awkward when he approached David Blaine backstage in 2023 after never meeting in person for their entire lives.
Wow.
I saw him and I went to his show and I was like, dude, you know, I just want to wipe the slate clean. I've never met you before, so I just want to say, like, you know, no hard feelings. Like, I apologize for anything that might have offended you or anything like that. I took off. I had a beautiful ring, 20 keys. I took it off and I said, this is for you. And I said,
what?
Let's build a friendship and stuff.
Bro, you're giving him a ring? You're giving him a ring? No way, man.
Because I'm talking, this was in like the early 2000s that this went down, and I gave it to him, and he's like, oh, I can't accept this because I'm a minimalist, and then he called his friend over and he's like, hey, let's put it in a museum, you know, like, you could do whatever you want with it, I'm giving it to you. And then the guy comes in, he's like, oh, okay, thank you, Criss. I was like, well, I gave it to David. If he wants to give it to you, that's his business because it's a gift from me. And then I was like, yeah, let's do a picture. And he's like, oh, I can't do a picture with just you and me alone. And it's just bizarre, dude. Like, just bizarre behavior. And it's like, dude, grow up.
Criss failing to understand why...
What? That is such an awkward situation. That is like the most awkward encounter I can even imagine. Both of them just being like the most awkward people in the room at each other, where one guy is like obsessed with the other guy. Grow up after all he did. Saying grow up after he's been obsessed with this guy for literally 20 years.
David
More than
wants
that.
nothing to do with him
30
is
years.
peak delusion, and continuing to claim that it was David who was in the wrong is dangerous levels of coping.
Wasn't like we had a fist fight. It's not like we ever even met before. It's not like we ever even had a conversation on the phone.
Crazy.
Nothing. It was just some banter in the press because I wanted to succeed. And you know, he's ripped me off with stuff that I've done. You know, like I've been underwater for 24 hours, and he borrowed that.
He's still stuck
and
on that.
Did it later, which is totally cool. Like, God bless him. Like, it's not a big deal.
Criss Angel always wanted David Blaine to validate him as an equal, or even as a rival, but David never gave him that satisfaction. Not once did
That's
Blaine
crazy.
clap back in an interview, never acknowledged him in the press, never even hinted that Criss was on his radar, and that silence spoke louder than anything. To David, there was no rivalry, no competition, nothing to respond to, and since Criss was incredibly successful himself, he had to sit there and justify why David wanted nothing to do with him.
Notice me, David Senpai!
Oh, he is insecure about copying me, or he is afraid of facing me in a magic duel. He spent years projecting his insecurities onto someone who just didn't care. David simply went about his career, unbothered. Criss thought that once they finally met in real life after over 20 years, he will get the response he wanted, and better yet, he could be seen as the better person for squashing the beef. But instead of finally getting closure, he was met with the same thing he'd always gotten from David Blaine. Nothing. And nothing stings more than realizing your greatest rival never even saw you as one.
True. Actually true. David Blaine owned Criss Angel there. David Blaine got him so I don't want to say hard, but he kind of did. Literally an I don't even know who you are moment. There's nothing feels worse than when you have like a rivalry with someone and they look over and they're like, who are you? Not speaking from experience, of course. Wow. I can't believe that. I didn't know they actually met in person. Wow. And he tried to give him a ring and everything. That's so sad. It makes me feel a little bad for Criss Angel. I can't even imagine being that delusional. But thank you all so much for watching. I super appreciate it. And I will see you next time.